always welding cracks in the headers, or you got to weld something on the chassis, or we're making brackets for this or that. Shane and Howard's car is going to be a little different for me because they just want me to pack the chutes. So I'll probably be over there working on the dragster more and interacting with the fans and stuff. I mean, we'll have a lot of hometown people there. So I mean, I'll be hanging out with them and talking with the kids. We always put the kids in the car, let them experience what I feel like when I get in the car. So it's pretty amazing watching the eyes of the little kids. That's kind of how I got hooked. Like I said, my dad sent me in a Flying Dutch and funny car. So I've always tried to give back and do that for the kids. And it's probably selfish. It's not just for them. It's for me. I just enjoy watching them, the look in their eye, getting to sit in the top fuel car, the dragster or a funny car,
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing.
Experience of a lifetime, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So now, where do you get all your fire safety equipment from?
Most of my stuff is Simpson, and Dennis Taylor built my last fire suit. Did an amazing job on it. The embroidery work was just off the chart. I mean, he did a really great job. But my gloves and my underwear and my helmet and my boots are all Simpson stuff. Had some really good contacts down there over the years. I've really been over backwards to help me with stuff and last minute stuff and overnight stuff to the track for me. And at the national events, the crew they have there is amazing. They're super nice people, and they've always helped me out with whatever I needed. But yeah, that's the main stuff I have for safety.
All right, now, what would you consider to be the milestones you've reached in your drag racing career so far?
Like I said, winning the World Finals in the top fuel boat, and winning 15 championships was awesome. But that setting the record at 265 and 267 miles an hour, that was insane, crazy for one. But it was just pretty amazing to get to do it, and to help them fix their boat to be able to go do that. That was a big milestone for me, and it's good for my business. That's what we do. So, but Indy was probably my biggest experience for car racing. And I won a couple national events in my alcohol car that I ran with my family. That was amazing. But running up at Indy is something I've been dreaming of since I was a little kid, to even get to go to Indy, and let alone race there and run a top fuel dragster there. It's just been very blessed, and that's one that I'll probably cherish my whole life. That'll probably stand out more than anything I've ever done, is getting the runner up at. And it wasn't a give me. We earned it. My guys earned it. They worked hard. They turned the car around. The car was perfect every run. We had a failure on some blower bolts in the finals. As soon as I hit the gas, it just sheared the bolts off the blower pulley. So, and we'd actually done that once before, and that's a problem with a team that doesn't get to race very often. But we don't rotate our equipment out as often as we probably should have. So we're learning that. We're learning that we can only put as a number 10 runs on a set of blower bolts, and then we change them. There's just some stuff you have to cycle out, valves, head studs. It's just on and on and on. You only get so many cycles out of those parts because they get hot, they get cold, all kinds of dynamics going in that motor. That's what we've learned a lot, is just that you got to rotate the parts out a lot more.
Yeah. So now, throughout your racing career, have you had any accidents or close calls?
Yeah, I've probably crashed, 7 or 8 drag boats over the years. I spun one boat out. It's called the Fatal Attractions. Close friends of mine out in San Diego. Clinton and Marianne Anderson owned it. We had a faulty rudder on the boat, and it spun around and barrel rolled at Phoenix, and it landed right side up at 236 miles an hour with the motor still running. We actually glassed it back together and raced it the next day, and finished the weekend out. But car stuff, burnt my funny car to the ground, and in Noble, Oklahoma, in like 2005. And that's what I try to explain to my kids. I mean, quitters never win. I mean, we turned around and put a new body on the car and came back out, and we won the national event in Houston, Texas, an alcohol funny car in 2006, and then we went to Dallas, won the divisional race. The next race we went to Topeka, Kansas, didn't qualify, and then the next two races we won at Noble, Oklahoma after we'd burned it down the year before, and then we won the national event at Ennis. So, you know, it's definitely, you know, it's a part of the game. You know, you never want it. That's why I try to pay attention to detail, just because I can't afford to fix it. But at the same time, it also, with all this experience, I feel like I bring a little bit more to the table with having gone through that and having the ability to know what to look for to hopefully to minimize that problem happening again, you know. But yeah, it's definitely been a roller coaster career. It all looks cherry most of the time, but it's a grind. It's a lot of work and dedication, and like I said before, you surround yourself with good people, you get good results. So I've been very blessed in that department. I've always been around really smart people, and we learn from each other and try to make something faster or safer or whatever it is.
Now I'm going to ask you a few fun questions here. Outside of drag racing, do you have any other hobbies?
I love going out on my ski boat. I'm pulling my kids water skiing and stuff like that. That's kind of my release. My ski boat runs about 57 miles an hour, and it's got a kick-ass stereo in it. And that's my getaway, have fun, you know, get away from work and all that. But pretty much, if I'm not racing, I'm working on building race cars or race boats, and I've been blessed. I enjoy doing that, and it brings out the creativity in you, and because you never do the same thing every day. But racing's pretty much ruled my life. So it, you know, once in a while you get away and do something you haven't done before. I went on a cruise last Thanksgiving and after Thanksgiving, and you know, try to do something different every once in a while. You know, to expand your horizons, I guess.
Right. Now, if you were able to do time travel and go backwards in time, would you do anything differently with your racing career?
I think I would have wanted to do it sooner, you know, not wait so far in life to get to where I'm at today. I wish I could have done it when I was in my 30s or 40s, you know, so that's the only thing I would probably change.
All right, what's been your most embarrassing moment on the track?
Wow. I'm sure there's several. Probably in the drag boat was we had a malfunction with some wiring on our boat, and when I went to turn the power on to start the boat, it kicked the parachutes out on the starting line. But I was able to determination, I guess you'd call it, but I unstrapped out of the boat, ran back there, and I always put the parachute string somewhere in the boat, so in case that would happen, I would be able to pack my chutes. So I had my helmet on, all my gear on. I went back there and packed both parachutes, and then got back in the boat, strapped myself in, and made it pass. So I guess I kind of redeemed myself from that, but
yeah, that
was pretty embarrassing for me. But
so throughout your career, have you won a lot of trophies or plaques or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I got quite a few. You know, like I said, winning 15 world championships in a boat. I mean, when I drove for Tommy Thompson, who was Scott Palmer's sponsor, heck, I think we won like 83% of the races, like 2 years in a row. It was in the 80% range. So, yeah, I've got quite a few trophies and jackets, and the boat deal, they give you a lot of, if you win a championship, you get a jacket and on and on. But I tell you, probably one of the coolest things I ever got was when we runnered up at Indy. Roger Henning got our whole crew these Super Bowl style rings, and they're silver. And he says, "Well, if we ever win a national event, I'll get you a gold one." So we're really focusing on hard just to get us a gold one next. But it was really an awesome thing he did for us, and it's one of those deals you'll never forget your whole life.
Now, have you had a greatest competitor in boat racing?
Have I had a what now?
A greatest competitor.
Man, the way I look at it, everybody's tough. It's anybody's game every day. And everyone's gunning for you, especially if you've done well over the years. They're going to try extra hard to outrun you. And I always do better when I'm an underdog anyway, which I usually am. But I do better under pressure. I focus harder, I think, but well, that's pretty much it.
All right. So, okay, here's an easy question. What's your favorite food to eat?
My favorite food? Probably lobster.
All right. Favorite beverage?
Probably a cold beer.
How about non-alcoholic?
I pretty much just drink water.
So when you're at the track racing, do you eat normally, or do you eat very light, or do you eat nothing and wait till after the races are done?
No, I eat a little bit all day long. I don't eat a lot. I've cut way back on eating and actually lost 12 pounds over the winter, so kind of shrunk my stomach. But if I eat too much, it doesn't make me feel very good. But at the races, I always have to eat breakfast, just because it's the best, most important meal of the day anyway. But it kind of sets the tone for the day. And like at Indy, when we runnered up, we ate. We had a really good breakfast. Our crew cooked for us, and we never ate till that night, because when you're going rounds, you don't have time to eat. I mean, it's like boom, 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 boom. The day was over, So, but normally, I don't eat a lot. I don't eat anything spicy during the day when I'm racing. But like at night, I'll pick up the pace a little bit,
Yeah.
Eating. You got to eat to have some energy too,
Yeah. So, yeah, like you said, breakfast is that's your brain food right there.
Yep.
So, what's your favorite music to listen to?
Classic rock. That's my favorite, and I love country too, but old country. But I just always, Leonard Skinner, to Stevie Ray Vaughan. Stevie Ray Vaughan's probably my favorite. And that's, Bob Seger and, the old 80s and 70s music is probably my favorite.
And classic rock always goes good with the drag racing?
Yeah.
All right, when you were a kid, what was your favorite cartoon growing up?
Favorite cartoon. Probably the Flintstones.
Now, did you have a favorite TV show when you were growing up?
Probably Happy Days was my favorite TV show.
Oh yeah, I used to watch Happy Days all the time too.
Oh yeah, it's funny. I was looking at a commercial of Henry Winkler tonight. It's like, wow, it's like he's still doing this thing too. It's pretty cool, When he was the Fonz, man, everybody wanted to be the Fonz when I was in school. I think that show came out. I was like in, second or third grade, But it was a cool show.
Yeah, out in Milwaukee, they got a Fonz statue out there.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Was that where that show was based on? I know
Yeah.
that Laverne and Shirley was out of
I think
Milwaukee,
so.
wasn't it?
Yeah, Laverne Shirley was, yeah.
I didn't know. I guess Happy Days was probably too, huh?
Probably. Now, if you weren't a drag racer, what do you think you'd be doing with your life?
Man, I really don't know. That's a good question. I've thought about it, and when I got out of high school, I was managing a speed shop when I was in high school. And, I built some racing engines with my dad. And, I went to work at a machine shop building racing engines and learning the basics as far as machining cylinder heads and decking blocks. And I already knew how to degree cams and grind rings and fit all that, and valve jobs and all that. But I mean, I got to learn from a guy named Harold Hutton on a place called HP Racing Engines in Tomball, Texas. He taught me a lot of fundamentals on the machining and stuff, and I really enjoyed doing that. And then I had a gentleman named Tony Lowry came in. He was good friends with my boss. He'd come up there and after hours and drink beer or whatever, and we kind of started chumming around. And he built chassis down in Houston. He asked me to come to work for him, and he kind of got my taste in the building race cars and stuff, and that's kind of how I got started in that. But I don't know what I don't know if I went off into the machine shop part of it more, or I really don't know. I was kind of lost back then. I mean, I wanted to race. That's all I wanted to do. I was racing boats and wanted to get more into car racing, and so that opportunity came up to go build cars with him, and so that's kind of the avenue I started pursuing, and I guess that's where I'm at today. But if it wasn't from him, I don't know where I would have gone. Not sure. I thought about it, but I've never came to a conclusion with it. So it fit into what I started doing when I was a little kid. It's just like how I got into doing custom painting. I wanted my stuff to look like it was painted in California, with all the candy colors and the stripes and the pinstripes and all that. And I couldn't get anybody around Houston to paint like that, so I just started doing it myself. I self-taught myself doing that, and I watched some other people do it and learned how they did it wrong and tried to learn from that. Kind of got in the same with the rest of it, doing sheet metal work. I wanted to do just sheet metal work, building race cars, but you can't live on sheet metal work alone. So I started narrowing rear ends and started doing roll cages. And next thing I know, we're building complete cars in my shop in Houston, and my buddies in the front office were building racing engines, so we made like a one-stop shop. We could wire your car and plumb it and get it running, and the whole deal, and that's kind of how I got started. And I never thought it'd perpetuate what it is today. And I'm Brandon Pezin is, but his dad, he's probably one of the best pro mod tuners in the country, and his dad's the one that started me in business, and him and his uncle. And another gentleman named Carl Benton, that owns Polydyne down in Houston, does all the coating on the pistons and bearings and stuff. And anyway, it's just kind of weird. You think back on it now, how all these people influenced your life to go into that direction, and that's kind of where I'm at now.
Yeah, Shane just messaged me on Facebook, asking me how he can listen to the interview.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
So did you? I'm really not sure how the podcast thing works. Is that something is that your own show that you broadcast all over?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have like a following that does that, and
yeah, I just sent him the link on Messenger so he can tune in.
God, one of my friends, Robert Mills, just sent me a text. Call me when you get off your podcast. So that's pretty amazing. I've never done this before. I didn't really know. I mean, I've heard them advertising on the radio before, but wasn't really sure how it worked.
Yeah, it goes. It's on live, and it gets recorded onto the podcast, and it goes to YouTube.
Oh, does it really? That's cool.
Yeah.
So is it go through Facebook, or how do you
No,
or just iHeartRadio, or
no, straight through the www.spreaker.com website. That's the podcast.
okay?
Spreaker is the podcast.
I gotcha. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, my wife started the podcast like 7 years ago. She was interviewing. She started doing bands when she started. Then I like a year later, I'm like, I'm gonna incorporate drag race interviews in this thing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't even keep track of how many interviews I did now. God, shit.
Really? Who else have you interviewed? Like a big time people?
The biggest one I had was Tony Schumacher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But mostly I do all the nostalgia guys and the gas.
Yeah.
I do gassers, everybody. Yeah,
That's cool.
lot of nostalgia guys. I had John Hale's been on like 3 times.
Oh yeah. That's cool. Yeah, he's a good buddy of mine.
I had Chris Graves on. Chris Graves was on last year, and he was just on a few weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we were talking all about Funny Car Cast.
Yeah, I think it's a next up and coming thing, man. I do. It's like I said, it gives you a chance to go run some nitro, and it doesn't cost you $3 million to go. So, it's you're done. You usually get to go home on Sunday night, So I mean, it's or Sunday, so you can get back to work, and it's. I just think it's a good deal. It's gonna be fun.
I even had Randy Renew on last year from the Red Line Shirt Club.
Okay, yeah. He'll be there this weekend.
Yeah, he's gonna be at all of them.
Yeah.
Big sponsor for the Funny Car Cast.
Yeah.
Good. Then he best of Texas barbecue sauce.
Right.
I've
got some in the cabinet right here.
I still haven't tried it yet.
It's good stuff. Really good.
John told me if I ever make it out to one of the events, he'll hook me up with a couple bottles.
Yep. Yeah, that's I'm trying to remember where he gave me mine at. I think it must have been at Ennis or somewhere. Oh no, he came to I have a New Year's Eve day party, and we fire my funny car up 5 or 6, 10 times, whatever, and had a good friend of mine brought they put a jet in the back of a pickup truck and mounted it, and they came over and fired that thing up at my New Year's Eve party, and the fire department showed up. It was crazy, but it was pretty awesome. But John came over for that and brought me some barbecue stuff, and that's where I got it from.
Yeah, I had Ken Singleton was on last year.
Yeah, that's cool.
Andy Mears has been on.
Yeah.
I know you know Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's his name? McIntyre, Mac Attack. I had him on last year.
Yeah, they're supposed to have a big show car this year.
Yeah, that's well, he sold the other car.
Oh, he did sell it? Yeah, where'd it go?
I forgot who bought it now. But yeah,
did he go out of the United States? Did he go to Australia or something?
No, I think it's still here.
Is it? Okay, cool.
He did good with that car last year too.
Oh yeah, that thing flies, man.
Yeah. So what would you consider to be your fondest memory of your career?
Yeah, I still think Indy's probably the best one. I tell you, the deal we ran in the boat last summer at Phoenix, that's definitely neck and neck with it. But the car thing is, and I love the boats, but car thing is so hard. I mean, there's so many parts and so many things that have to be perfectly in line to be able to win first round, let alone go to the finals, and do it 4 times on Sunday or Monday. It's just, I guess, it's kind of humbling in another way because, like, we go to the next race, we struggle, and we go to the next race, we struggle, and then we go to the next race, and you struggle, and you're like, wow, it really makes you inside appreciate how well you did at Indy, besides it's Indy, but just to go to the finals at a race like that is just phenomenal. But going to the finals at any of them is hard, and, we've struggled since, and I'll be honest with you, and it's not because we're not trying, we're trying and keeping up with the Joneses and buying the right parts, and Roger's gone way above and beyond. He kept us in a good car, and he got us a newer car, and he got the latest blowers and the latest cylinder heads, and he's just been an amazing guy to drive for, and that's what it takes. If you're we're only gonna go 4 or 5 times a year, if that many. But when we go, we're going for the jugular vein. We're going to win. So we're going to have our best day game on, and hopefully it's going to work out for us again like it did at Indy. I'm hoping to do really well at Houston, and it's really tough to go up against these teams that have already been to, by the time we go to Houston, 5 or 6 races, and here we are starting, but. Again, I'm just glad I get to go do it. I'm blessed I get to go do it. And we're just going to make the best of it every time we go.
You're in it to win it, huh?
Yes, sir. Otherwise, I'll stay at home. That's what I like with racing with Roger and David and all the gang that's on my crew. Like I said, we may only go 3 or 4 times a year, but when we go, we're going to go win. That's why we're doing it. We can drink beer at home. But
so now the Kinsley Motorsports page on Facebook, that keeps updated?
Yeah, I do as much as I can for it, it's I've got a couple people that help me with it too, so yeah, we stay on top of it pretty good. Plus my family likes it because between that and the Hennon Motorsports, they can keep up with it on that, and Chris Graves helps it out a lot with all that. Just because it's so much going on at the races. By the time you get back and you get your gear off, you go out and you're packing the shoes, and next thing you're warming the car up, you're going back up for the next round, and so you really don't have a time to call mom until the evening, and call your kids and let you know how you're doing and stuff. It's tough, but that definitely helps. It spreads the word out to all your friends and people that keep up with you at the races. So that's what I think is pretty cool about doing this with you tonight. You reach out to so many people, and that's what keeps the sport going. We got to somehow get the younger generation fired back up on us, get them off their phones, let's get them out to the track, and let's get them pumped up about racing a bracket car. Start somewhere, and not everybody can start in Top Fuel, but if you can, God bless you. But it's usually a long road to get to this point, but we got to keep this sport going, or we're going to lose it, So let's get these younger guys out there to the track, and that's why, people like Scott Palmer and I and a lot of the drivers, they'll invite the kids into the pits and put them in the car and sign autographs for them, and just sit there and talk to them for a few minutes, spend some time with them, get them, kind of show them around the car, show them what the motor, what this part does, why we do this and why do you do that, and show them what the nitro looks like, and just get their interest in them. And I hope everybody does that for the kids. And like I said, we got to get the younger generation fired back up and get the sport going strong like it was when I was a kid. It was a neat deal, and it's support your local tracks. Go out and like Denton, man, that's probably the baddest 8th-mile track around. Gene does a phenomenal job, like I said, prepping that thing. You can go there on a Wednesday night, and that's a hooking son of a gun. He takes a lot of pride in his track, and and actually we're pretty blessed around here too. You got Extreme, you got Ennis, you got Denton. They just closed Cannondale down a few years ago. I've been going there since I was in high school. We used to go there on the way to Green Valley, which Green Valley has millions of memories for a lot of people there. It was a cool track, but yeah, that's kind of my philosophy on it.
Got to get the young ones off the video games, man.
Yep, I agree.
I keep telling all people in interviews. If we could get some of them out to video games, maybe get them to a drag race, maybe they'll actually enjoy themselves.
Right. Yeah.
Be like, hey,
I agree.
there's other life outside of playing video games.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what's really cool about the Funny Car Chaos, like I said, because you get up close and drag racing's that way anyway. But this Funny Car Chaos deal, it's even more so. I mean, it's really family oriented and it's not fast paced. Where you can't spend some time with the crew, and that's what we're really looking forward to this weekend. And getting our sponsors some exposure, and that's what keeps the ball rolling too. And but get the fans out there and get them up close, and a lot of people don't get to the experience to go to a national event. But this brings them to a hometown where they maybe get them influenced to go to a national event after they go to the Funny Car Chaos, So it's all one big circle. You just got to make the best of it, I think. And I think Chris and Tara and all them are doing a great job at that.
Yeah, it's not going to break. It's not going to break your bank. It's only $20 for a general.
Right. And look what you get. You get jet cars. You got fuel alters. You got some Promon cars, and you got some really badass nitro funny cars. You got some really fast alcohol funny cars. I mean, it's all across the gamut. That's what's making it really cool. I'm really glad I'm a part of it.
Yeah, they could pay $20 each to get in, and they still can afford. You can still afford to buy food at the track.
Yep.
Not like the big show where you gotta pay all that money. Yeah, man.
It's very expensive. It is.
All right, so now, Kevin, do you have any final words or thank yous you want to throw out before we close?
I just thank the fans, and hope they all get to come out this weekend and have a good time with us. If not, maybe come down to Houston, and please come by and say hi to me and the gang, and love to have you guys out at both races. And I'd like to give a shout out to my crew. I really appreciate everybody working hard over the winter. And hope we're going to have a great season this year, and go burn some nitro this weekend. Both teams. We're, like I said, we're really excited to get to go do this, and being at a home track, it's good for business and for Shane and Howard and I, and it's really cool to get to take the dragster up there and let our local people get to see it in another venue besides Ennis. I mean, Ennis is an awesome track, and love racing there too, but it's kind of more up close and personal with the smaller tracks, and it's going to be fun. I'd like to have everybody come out and hang out with us, and we'll have a good time.
Awesome. Well, Kevin, I want to thank you very much for taking time to do an interview tonight.
Hey, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. It's nice talking to you.
No problem. We'll do another one in the future.
All right. Sounds good. Just let me know.
All right. Just save my number.
All right. Okay. Have a great night.
All right. You too.
Right.
Hey, good luck to you this weekend.
Thank you very much.
No problem. And good luck the whole rest of this season, too.
Thank you.
All right. You have a good night.
All right. You too.
All right. Bye.